game. Gang, 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 gang. Gang, gang, gang. That's loud. Gang, welcome back to another episode of Reviews with Your Mom's Favorites with hosts Mo and Greg. My co-host Greg is down with the sickness.
You mean tell me I'm not Greg?
No. I mean, you want to be Greg? I mean, I can call you Greg this whole thing if you want.
Nah, it's okay.
Okay. But yeah, he is.
Get well soon, big fella.
He is definitely sick. Yes, get well soon, because we need to hear your thoughts and or opinions on this. But we have a very special guest in and here to fill in the void, and I am so grateful that he was willing and able to come and sit, because there are things and stuff and stuff and things and things and stuff to discuss. My brother Will has made it back.
There you are.
Friend of the pod, has been here many times before. How are you, good sir?
I'm well. You know, just watched a movie.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Fresh off a movie.
We did. Just fresh.
Yeah, maybe a half hour, right?
Yeah, just the ride home.
Yeah.
Like that is just how fresh it is. Just went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine and...
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down.
Because, wow.
I wasn't ready.
No, not at all.
And if I could just say, the first Deadpool is a great franchise in general.
Yes.
But I was very much like standing up. like if we weren't reclined,
Okay.
I'm sure it would have got
Right.
a standing. And we're waiting for credit scenes.
Of course.
It's kind of hard to give Marvel a standing O
When
you wait for
when
credits.
you just know, you just know that you don't get up right afterwards.
Yeah.
Except for, well, no, if you've been to a Marvel movie before, you know not to get up afterwards. But yeah, it was, I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't give it a standing O.
Well, you have higher expectations than me.
Not even, like, maybe that could be it. And I really need to start, like...
I'm a general movie watcher. You are no longer, you don't count as a general movie watcher anymore.
I need to start, like, taming my expectations. I was really excited for this movie. I've said it multiple times on the pod. Very excited for this film. And don't get me wrong, it is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. So please do not anyone think...
I will fight him tooth and nail if he said this was a bad movie.
I am not saying that this is a bad movie. I do not believe that this was a bad movie. This movie was great. As far as the Deadpool franchises go, the third one just brought right up the rear, keeping the same energy and wonderful things that we all loved about the first two movies. That is not, if they were to be called problems, that is not the problem that I had with this movie.
Then, dare I ask, what was the problem? Can I just add that before you get into your issues with it?
Yes.
I will say, for me,
Okay.
this is the first Marvel movie I've seen in theaters in a long, I don't remember the last time I felt the need to go see a Marvel movie.
Like since Endgame, would you say?
What's come? I mean, I might need a refresher of what's come out since then. But as you
Did
can
you go
imagine,
see Guardians in the theaters?
no,
Did you go see Thor: Love and Thunder in theaters?
no,
Did you go see Eternals in theaters?
Disney.
Did you go see Shang-Chi in theaters?
No. Oh, the Spider-Man count?
Yes.
So I've seen that's the last one, 2019.
No Way Home. Last movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Was that 2019 or 2021?
I think it was later than that.
Double check.
Yeah.
that for me. But yeah, No Way Home. If you don't count across the what's the one? Universe.
Spider-Man No Way Home was 2021.
Yeah. So 2021. That might have been the last Marvel movie.
What do you mean? You got to count the multiverse movies now.
So yeah. So what was it? Spider-Man
Across the
universe.
Or across the multiverse? Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the
last
Spider-Verse. Last year.
Was last year.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
So through what was it? Endgame, No Way Home, which I liked. Across the universe, Spider-Verse, and then this one.
Okay.
Like, I've been good and selective with the movies I've gone to see.
I understand
and
that.
and I think this kept the energy of those.
I get that
for me,
and I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that. I'm not even going to hold you. I would definitely agree with you on that. While I'm talking, if you need, there are cough drops right there.
Appreciate it.
I would agree with you that it definitely kept the energy from the previous films. I, of course, have not missed a Marvel movie in theaters since
I feel bad for some of the ones you had to sit through. I just watched the Marvels last week, maybe, for the first time.
Okay.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Right.
But I would have been pissed if I went to the movie theaters for that. To
I wasn't
me,
mad.
like, and I know you talked about the Marvels.
Yeah.
You covered this before, and you told me it was a good movie. For me, my expectation is Endgame.
Okay.
At this point.
Okay.
So, now in Disney, Disney Plus is y'all fault. Like, if I could catch it home, I feel like this is so. Now I separate them between this is a home movie,
and this
is a theater movie.
Gotcha.
So the Marvels is the perfect home movie. You throw it on with the kids that running around, and everybody's watching. It's a good time. Women power. I love it. Boom. Oh, I saw Black Panther as well. But anyway,
Smooth. Forget about that.
I know it's almost like they're not a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they don't exist outside of Wakanda in any other movie. They're not even alluded to
at all.
But sorry, we are going off topic.
Yes.
To your problems with the movie.
Yes. Issues with the movie, right, is that and he kind of mentioned it with just the gratuitous cameos and to use a term like from Deadpool. Kind of glad you're here. I can, It's kind of like Marvel just kind of like the MCU and Disney just kind of like jizzed all over Deadpool, and that it felt too much like recent MCU movies where the focus is half the movie is who we can get to come back and who we can get to introduce in the film.
Can I tell you that's one of my strong points of the movie? Simply because I think that was the parody of it. Like, I think the entire movie was a parody of even spoiler. Obviously, if you're watching this, you're going to get spoiled.
If you haven't seen the movie, do not watch this at all.
Right. Even when if a wizard dropped the ring off and like he opened the portal, to me that was hilarious. Why? Because now it is expected in every Marvel movie that somebody's going to open a portal and somebody from 1999 is going to come out.
Exactly.
Somebody from 1701 is going to come out. And you're like, Nicolas Cage was never Superman. And I know that's not
the same. But it's essentially the same thing. Everybody's doing it.
And he even mentioned it in the parody of all the Deadpools coming out. And he's like, oh my God, this one's not regenerative. This one is. It's like, I think he did and I say he, but there's a ton of people that worked on this movie. But Ryan Reynolds is the face of Deadpool for me, so I'm going to just say he. I think that's the parody of it, that Deadpool is nothing without, not even Deadpool. Marvel is nothing without the gratuitous, cameos and just people coming back now. And I think at some point he's like, yo, all right. We're done with the multiverse. Like, he even says it on camera, we're done with the multiverse. Like, please. Like, it's perfectly okay. In the beginning, right, I was very excited about, the multiverse and, all the different options that could happen with it. Little did I know that we would be beat to death with it. Well, the thing is, right, so, but if I could bring back people that I shouldn't have killed in the first place, I get it. I totally get it. It's almost becoming and if y'all know I've been here before, I'm going to mention wrestling at some point. If a wrestler retires, nobody thinks they're actually going to retire because they always come back for one last match, right? In the Marvel Universe at this point, there's always one last cameo, one last movie.
Right.
I will say I appreciate the Human Torch cameo. Like that.
That was great.
I love
that.
that.
That was spectacular.
Because I thought it was Cap. And I'm like,
me too.
Nah, y'all not gonna
They
do that.
even made the suit very
Yes.
similar to
Cap.
his Cap suit.
I was pissed off because that was a cameo that I would have been upset about. Because just like Tony Stark, I mean, we went through this whole elaborate, we're done, we got a whole new world coming out. So I would have been like, or a Brave New World. Sorry, Aladdin fans. But yeah, I would have been pissed if we just wasted all of that and then said, oh, by the way, Captain America's alive in a trash can universe and he's all good. So Human Torch, I get it. And I kind of like the broken toys that were thrown away aspect of the movie. And even in that being the best part, like the best part of it, your conversation of, these cameos they're killing me. But you almost kind of look for cameos now. Like if nobody else pops up behind a door, you're like, well, that was a waste. And it was boring. Like I didn't like in the Marvels. It wasn't enough cameos for me.
Well, see, me personally, I think that's honestly one of the reasons why I like the Marvels.
Right.
Because it wasn't like gratuitous cameo after gratuitous cameo. It was just, let's just focus on, like, you're introducing new characters, right? For that particular movie. And I don't know how we got to it being the comparison movie. But you got to, like, you just fleshed out different characters in Captain Marvel's universe. So I wasn't really mad.
They also did that with Black Panther with introducing new characters and kind of leaving everyone else to their own
thing.
thing.
They left everyone else to their own devices, and that was cool. It was a little weird because what do you mean none of the Avengers came to
assist
his death?
Yeah,
to the funeral.
Well,
one showed up to
when
the
all
funeral?
of them came to Tony's.
Everybody was at Tony's. Everybody.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. There is an underlying race.
Wakanda is very selective with their invitations.
You're right, but you could have at least done two.
Or invited
Showed
the
me
broken
two.
toys.
Like made reference.
Oh yeah,
to the fact that one of these ceremonies was done outside
of done on U.S. soil or whatever. The Avengers did their own ceremony, or just had like a little camera, like a Zoom.
Right. Let me know this. They watching or something. But off topic again. In this particular movie, it was great because all of the cameos were a 20th Century Fox.
Yes.
Like they paid homage to all of the movies that honestly, like these gratuitous cameos, though I was upset that they're happening in yet another Marvel movie, I wasn't mad at these because these are the cameos that kept Marvel afloat
and it fit the
until
story.
they became the juggernaut that Marvel is now. Because I've mentioned it all the time. We were literally just talking about it. If it wasn't for the Blade movie, Marvel would have gone bankrupt.
Now that was so. I'm always gonna say the cameos that we got, I'm not disappointed about.
Not even in the slightest.
So Cassandra Nova, I was a little bit like, she don't look nothing like Professor. Like,
other than the fact that they was both bald.
Yeah, they didn't even try, and she her stature just didn't give me. She was related to Professor X, but whatever. That's just a little nitpick for me.
And the Indiana Jones look was weird too.
Yeah, that was honestly weird.
Honestly, if you've been there since you were a child, where'd your clothes come from, sis?
Yeah, and where did your identity come from? Like, I don't. I guess there's always room for an origin story.
There is. I mean, I don't really need it.
Elektra, I always thought that Elektra was one of those. I won't say underrated movie because it was not good, but I do think that the character
was underrated.
The character was underrated, and what Jennifer Garner at the time they needed her. Like she was alias, like she was an A-list celebrity. They needed her, just like Blade brought them back. They kind of needed that little push to stay afloat, and she bought that. She did that, and I do think that we've given a lot of people extra chances in movies, and she was never given the proper chance to redeem herself. Blade never had to redeem himself.
No.
And just to sit there and go, and X-23, bro, the Logan dying, from at least my understanding, was a setup for them to continue
with her.
And
she never got that moment.
And I'm like,
okay. Wow.
So we killed Logan.
Especially with Daphne King being a straight up like mini monster.
Exactly.
On screen.
Which I was kind of upset that I love that we got her fighting again, but like I would have loved to see her just go one-on-one with somebody.
In the same way you gave Blade his moment, in the same way you gave Elektra her moment, in the same way you gave Gambit her moment.
Gambit got a moment, and he ain't even had a movie.
He ain't even had a movie. Like, this was literally, this gratuitous cameo was because Channing Tatum has always wanted to play Gambit in a movie.
And he was rumored to play Gambit. There was a rumored Gambit movie that I don't think Marvel ever paid attention to, or Fox for that matter.
I don't think.
But the
think it was ever
ran
real.
with it. Yeah, the internet ran with it, and it was always a thing
that Channing Tatum was going to play Gambit in a movie that just never materialized to anything more than a rumor.
Yeah, and it was like to watch. I would have loved the Michael B. Jordan Human Torch. Like,
yes,
that like interaction with Chris Evans would have been cool. But I liked how they got to that part, right? I was a little confused in how they explained it. Like, your universe, like, so we went from the canon events, right?
Yes. The sacred timeline.
Yes. And now we go to this timeline where somebody dies. Now there's a main figure in your timeline who dies, and now your universe just, like, is gone because they died.
Yeah.
Without doing, I guess, what they were supposed to do. And now Deadpool is supposed to be the guy to go finish off, like, he wanted to use Deadpool to be the guy to finish off, like, timelines he didn't really rock with, right?
No. So everything you said up to then was right. Only difference was he wanted to pull Deadpool from his timeline and throw him into the sacred timeline with like RDJ's Tony Stark and Chris Evans' Cap. Like, he wanted to take him out of
the one that was the main one.
Yeah, the main one. Because basically what this movie was saying was that all of the 20th Century Fox movies
were a different universe.
Took place in the same universe as the Deadpool movies. Like, it's all they basically just connected all of those movies now to the grand scheme of things. They used Deadpool to do that.
Which you can make. I mean, they obviously were to an extent because Deadpool was an X-Men. But Blade never made the cross. Like, the other movies never made the cross.
Yeah, the other movies made the.
But that being, you could lie and say they were. Like, oh, they were always in the same universe. We just never got to that story.
We just never got. Like, they weren't at the time. Nobody was really trying to world build in that capacity. So it was just, we were just trying to do successful franchises. So we never really took the time to, like, thought.
Who was the Flash? Or what's my man? Electra's. That's Flash, right?
No, Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil and Flash, they the same to me. Like, they look exactly alike in my brain.
They both have red
suits.
I
can't
with like that come down to like right below their nose.
Yeah, so
I get it.
One got devil horns, the other one got a thunderbolt. That would have been really cool.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, like, they said he was dead. Daredevil was dead. But it would just been nice to see, Ben Affleck as
and that was the funny
in the
part.
Daredevil suit one more time.
And that was the funny part in terms of, well, would you get him to come back with Garner, his baby mama, and ex-wife, right? Like, that's hilarious.
I mean, fine. Okay, so then don't do that. So then on the flip side of that, right?
They're fun. They get along.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, like on the flip side of that, then call Colin Farrell to reprise his role as Bullseye.
True. I thought we were gonna see who was under the Deadpool, the Lady Deadpool suit.
Me too.
I thought it was gonna be Blake.
Right. I was expecting. Like, they made such a big deal about it,
and that pissed me off. The walk she did in the trailer was all she did in the whole movie.
That's it. And she just started shooting the Uzi. Oh.
I could have really done without the 100 Deadpool scene. Not gonna lie to you.
Yes.
It didn't feel necessary.
No.
The only thing that it seemed to do was give the Stan Lee cameo room, side of the bus, Stan Lee steamers. Got it. Cool. But I could have done without that.
It was, and to give us what we've all been waiting to see, which was Wolverine and the cow.
And Henry Cavill as well.
Bro, that was so good. I didn't know I wanted Henry Cavill as Wolverine.
Yeah, that was
until
fire.
I saw just how dope he looked.
That was fire. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really.
That was nice. But again, it was fun. It was a super fun movie.
Absolutely.
Like, the soundtrack, every song he used to push the movie along was great. Another thing that I appreciate about the Deadpool films is the narration. Like the fact that there's a narrator and that they everything gets kind of strung along through someone telling you. Because a lot of times in the Marvel movies, you kind of should watch stuff. Like you got to watch stuff, or if you don't know lingo or terminology, or like this thing happened at some point, you kind of get lost.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool did a good job in breaking the fourth wall. He, this time for the flashback. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of helps you weave through the movie, and it breaks it up in the right ways. Because sometimes they do terrible ways at flashing back or transitions and segues to doing that.
It's not always been one of Marvel's strongest suits. It's not something they've,
I think there was a lot of heart.
at.
Yeah.
But they did a fantastic. I think they did. Deadpool has always been good with that because he's like, listen, I bet you're wondering how we got here. Mm-hmm. And though it's sometimes an overused trope in movies. Mm-hmm. I think Deadpool has always found a way to make it not suck.
Because Deadpool, I always look at Deadpool as it's like the Saturday Night Live of Marvel movies, right?
Yes.
Like, to me, if we're going to make fun of something, throw it in a Deadpool movie. So, like, whereas you say, like, yo, the cameos are too... This was the perfect way to bring natural cameos in, but to still make fun of them. Because he's, like, even saying, like, I don't know who your dialect coach is to Gambit. Because Channing Tatum was jumping in and out of accent the whole time. It was like...
the entire time, bro.
It was hilarious. But I do think that, like, it's... And the thing that this movie did that a lot of good Marvel movies, it was a lot of heart in it. Like, there was a scene with Cassandra Nova and Wolverine when they're about to kill her. And when he gave her basically the Professor X speech, it was like, what? Like, that tugged at a heartstring because I'm like, wow. Like, all right, bro, that's dope. Because of all the things that Xavier taught Wolverine, as tough and as hardcore and as crazy and rated R as he is, Professor X always taught them how to use their heart in situations.
Right.
And I think it was just his love for Deadpool. Like him softening up because X-23 basically gave him the same speech that she gave him in Logan. Like,
yeah.
I think it was a lot of teaching people how to be friends.
Absolutely.
And like what friendship means in the grand scheme of things. And I think Marvel has always done a good job at showcasing friendship and how necessary bonds are. And this movie kind of did that.
Absolutely. And to the fact of Wolverine giving the Professor X speech, the fact that we never really, like, every time you saw Logan with Charles, it always just seemed like Charles was talking and it was going in one ear and out the other, and he was not paying
like
attention.
That bad kid in school that actually succeeds at life.
Yeah, because you come to find out
they were listening
listening the whole time, and they actually were absorbing what you were saying. They just had a persona to.
And he said he was like, even with the suit, he was like, I couldn't make them act like I couldn't let them know that I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Because he had that persona of like, yo, I don't like this. This is stupid. I'm not wearing this suit. And I'm so I was one of those people. If he's going to wear the suit, how does he not wear the mask?
Oh, I was too. And then when I learned that he only had it on for like 10 minutes, I was very upset with that because I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What's the point of him wearing the suit if he's not gonna wear the entire
So when
suit.
they gave meaning to why he wore the suit, and then meaning as to when he puts the mask on,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, y'all did that. I'm not gonna complain because the ears are too big on that suit.
For being honest, the head was a little too large too.
I'm like, wait a minute. Them ears was long and wide and and I'm like, I don't really like this. Take it off.
Take it off now. You can take it off. It was kind of big in the back. Like it was just.
I'm like, after all these years, and a lot of it too was Hugh Jackman is kind of tall, like to be Wolverine, because he don't do the hunch.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it might have helped if he hunched over or something, but Hugh Jackman's Wolverine never really did the hunch.
No,
So
he never
it
did.
doesn't. The mask, you don't realize it, but the hunch really helps take some.
Yeah, because it was always like his neck and like his like shoulder and neck muscles was too big, so they kind of like towered over.
Yeah.
Almost kind of like his head didn't sit on his neck, but like it
sat in
sat
his
more
chest.
like right in his chest.
Yeah.
So that's what, it just accentuated that. And when you come to, that's the difference between drawing and an animation and
Yeah.
real life, because you can't really, I mean, you could portray that, but it would just be, a little bit more difficult.
Now a cameo it's funny when you talk about cameos and unnecessary. I think them getting Tom Wamsgam to play Paradox was a nod to Succession in his popularity. Like I feel like they could have got anybody really to play Paradox, but because of his popularity and success and just it going, oh, that's, you know what I'm saying? It kind of worked for him because that was like the first I don't know if it really counts as a cameo as opposed to somebody being hired to do a job, but I looked and I'm like, no, they didn't. They went and got this guy, like, because in Succession, he turns out to be like the bad guy. Well, he outsmarted all of them and became the top guy, like that guy.
Yeah.
So to see it kind of in the same vein, him being a Deadpool movie, being a bad guy, you're like, oh, wow, he wins still. Like, you know what I mean? But, shout out to Tom.
Yeah, they could have called
his-
what's the name back if we're being honest about it.
Who?
If we already talking about the TVA.
Oh, yeah.
Call Google back.
Yeah, no. You already know.
But I guess,
Blade looked too old. I didn't like the haircut on Blade, but I get it. He's older now, and I missed the fade.
Yeah, I didn't think
It was
that.
like a civil rights afro kind of going thing, and I wasn't really.
No, crazy enough, I think it's just he look older.
Yeah, but there's
That-
effects for that.
The haircut is still the same. Because it was never really like
You're
a
right.
fade. It just stopped. And
It
he had a
stopped, yeah.
line in the back.
No, but I guess to me it's a lot of hair. A lot of hair was on. Like,
It definitely gave this is my grandfather
yeah.
coming out to I'm like, bro.
Jennifer Garner looked better than she did
Yeah.
at the time she was Elektra.
I'm like, bro, you are supposed to be Blade, half vampire, which means you should still look just as good as you did.
And you heard the shade though, right?
Yeah.
There's only one Blade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
Oh, okay.
but don't y'all got another one coming?
They
Like,
sure do.
what are we doing here?
They sure
why,
do.
Why we say that?
Because it's a Deadpool movie and all bets are off the table.
I
think that's what that whole cocaine bit was about, with the fact that like Feige says we can't have cocaine in the movie,
Right.
but yet you say the word cocaine
A million
and
times.
all of the different names for it a million times throughout the entire movie.
if we could do everything, we could swear we could do everything. We could show genitals, but
No cocaine.
no cocaine.
They drew the line of cocaine.
I find that funny that Robert Downey Jr. is one of your. All right, no.
I mean,
Shout out to Robert Downey Jr.
always.
Because there's also talks of him coming back.
I know,
So
and I kind of hate it.
So here's my concern, and I don't want to, we'll come back to Deadpool real quick, but it's Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tom Holland, still Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna get, Spider-Man after work, or, coming home from dinner, Spider-Man, after the kids, marriage.
new home,
Yeah, a new
or
home.
something like that.
New summer house.
Because it's all been
Oh,
the
New
word
Home, you're right,
home
you're right.
has been in all three
Got it.
movies. You know,
Okay. After home,
a
New
new
Home.
home. What is home?
What is home?
Where is home? You know,
phone home, like
phone home, something. You know.
These niggas getting old
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Spider-Man, people poo-pooed because he's supposed to be young. But are we not supposed to watch heroes age?
All I'm saying is Spider-Man wasn't always young.
No. Like, so that's kind of my issue with us always aging out Batman before he get older and become, like, pass the torch. We always age him out where, like, oh, well, Batman, he really only does Batman things till he's like 37 and then passes
And
it
then
up.
he retired.
No, he don't. I mean, nobody does really. So I'm starting to speak for like the old people. Why can't we have like I can't see Cap? All right, fine. Cap is older, did his thing. He's sitting on his bench now. Lady dead, got it.
Even though they kind of just trashed that
Sure did.
whole thing
Sure did.
in like 2.5 seconds. Because my man Isaiah from Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Yo,
and now he's old. About the same age as Cap. Because he never got frozen in time.
Nope.
So he aged normally. Just like Cap went back in time to age normally, he aged normally. How he still out here kicking? Like, he looked like he wreaking havoc in that new Captain
my
America
God.
movie.
First of all, shout out to that movie. Because I know Cap is black and a lot of y'all might not watch it. But let me tell you something. That trailer. So, and that's another thing I was going to say about Deadpool and Wolverine. I feel like this is the setting off point of Marvel getting good again. I think it was like X-Men Last Stand in terms of control or delete all of the stuff you've ever seen. I think they were like, listen, they got 20th Century Fox, all that stuff in between Endgame and now. Forget it. like
But not all of it, though.
But again,
You got to keep the good stuff.
the general consensus is that ever since Endgame, there has not been a good Marvel movie. That's like that. That's the if you will, the internet talk. That's why he made alluded to it. He's like, listen, everything since Endgame has been mid. He even said that in the movie.
You're right. I don't agree, but
Well, I mean, again, we just sat here and said a few movies that were pretty decent.
Yeah,
and
'cause-
Eternals wasn't bad. I will smack. I'm not gonna get violent on your podcast, but my only issue with Eternals is you can't put it in the same vein as every other. It's not Avengers. It's not. It's one of those like indie film Marvel movies where you watch it at a film festival, you enjoy it, and you go home. It is not for those diehard. Like, this has no business being intertwined with the main story.
no, not at all.
It's an off-road side mission.
Especially
that
with the BS reason we got for why they were nowhere
Right. Ever.
to be found when it came to them fighting Thanos.
Yep.
And then, right, the whole thing with the
Same
Thanos-
reason that Captain Marvel is not available for nothing. Nothing.
there are other planets who don't have Avengers,
Then send a couple over
but
there.
you're not from those planets.
Right, that's one. And two, you could get to these places in 0.5 seconds. Come over here, help me deal with this, and go right on back to who you need to go back to.
Who we got? The Eternals and I don't forget, the new gods, the old gods, whatever their name is. And who's in charge? Them?
And the Guardians.
Them or the TVA?
True.
Who's the real big bad?
True. And, but you know what? Captain Marvel, we do have Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Guardians of the Galaxy are a thing.
So we just gonna say, nah. She don't trust that.
Nah, they not cool.
She got it.
Thor isn't always on Earth.
Right.
He spent a chunk of time there, sure. But before that,
He spent a lot of time where he ain't supposed to be. Like you should maybe. Answer your phone sometimes. But
you know.
I think, but Eternals is like a side mission that, those who take the side mission enjoy it. Those who don't want to, you don't have to. Just stay on the main road.
Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the greatest movies.
Oh, that was great.
That was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen.
And the Christmas joint.
Yes.
Yeah.
For me personally, Guardians is one of the Guardians to me is I think Marvel has two good standalone franchises in that, like, not the Avengers movies, but Captain America, those three films, and the Guardians films, it's two of Marvel's best works ever. Like, I will watch. Those are two of Marvel's best franchises ever, not including the Avengers.
I would say that Iron Man 2 with the exclusion of the second one. Like, Iron Man 2 was not good.
No, it wasn't great. That suitcase suit was the best part about that movie.
I just think that I'm saying you're 100% correct, and I'm saying that Iron Man would be included if that did not.
Yeah, if that wasn't like if Iron Man 2 was a better movie.
And Thor, for me, Thor, I know people crapped on Love and Thunder. I thoroughly enjoyed Love and Thunder. So, in my book, Thor has not missed.
Then I need you to go rewatch Thor: The Dark World, because Love and Thunder ain't the reason Thor not on that list for me.
You know what?
It's The Dark World.
You know what? I forget that movie came out.
Exactly.
I don't even remember Thor: The Dark World.
For The Dark World is the reason why.
You know what? To me, right? In my brain, the Thor universe goes Thor, Loki, and then Love and Thunder, right? Like,
dang, you skipping Ragnarok too?
Yes. Because I watched Ragnarok and Dark World once. Both of them. Love and Thunder tugged that. I'm telling you, it's about the heart of the movie.
But Ragnarok was great.
I know you love Ragnarok. You talked about Ragnarok ad nauseum.
Because Ragnarok was such a great movie.
Now you know how I feel.
Don't get me wrong. Hell, it wasn't like... It was a great movie. I really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. I think it's a bunch of, I just enjoy Thor Ragnarok.
There's some movies you enjoy that, even with your knowledge of movies, I'm confused. I'm not saying that about Ragnarok, because Ragnarok was a good movie. It just doesn't, and like I said, in my traction of the Thor universe, I go straight there. I go Thor, Loki, and then Love and Thunder. I watch Ragnarok, no problem. But again, I'm also not the go back in the timeline, and like if it was popping, if it touched my spirit, then I remember it. If not, I don't.
Because again, we're not about to get into that. But my problem with Thor: Love and Thunder was the fact that if Jane got a suit, why didn't Cap get a suit?
See,
you gave Jane a suit.
This is why. Those little details like that will make a 97% movie turn 83 for you.
You right.
I wouldn't give two craps about it. Right? I'm like, at least they got on clothes. And that's why, even with this movie, and that's perfect example. Here I do it again. As a wrestling fan, right? And somebody who's been a wrestling fan for 30 years, a little kid, right? Like Justin talks to me about wrestling, and it's still that twilight of like, all this is real. Nothing is wrong. Like, if somebody go put through a table, that really hurt. Like, to me, I am now at the age where, stylistically, I ain't like that. I don't think those two, they don't got chemistry in the ring. Like, I'm watching it in a way that's like, 5 stars, 3.5. And other people who casually watching it's like, oh, that was dope. But I'm like, really? The match 2 weeks ago on, the lesser show was great. This one was mid. And everyone's looking at me like, what are you talking about? But that's the nerd wrestling in me going. Yeah. And I think in the same way with you, it's like, you go see a movie and you're like, I wouldn't have shot that from there. That looks a little, but that don't make sense because now Sabretooth, it was that quick. They made him, exactly. You mean to tell me?
You mean to tell me
Yo,
the same Sabretooth who gave Wolverine the business every other
The
time they were
man's-
on screen
the man's
together
brother. The man's
gave that man the business every time. It's not even that, my nigga. Did you see I don't know if you paid attention to the quickness and with the ease that Wolverine was able to dispatch of Lady Deathstrike? Like, that's not
Oh
Lady
my gosh.
Deathstrike?
Yes. Did you see what X-23 did to the Juggernaut? I'm looking at them like,
I'm like, excuse me, the Juggernaut? Me just learning he not a mutant, but he was given his powers from a god, Juggernaut?
and my confusion was, if X-23 is supposed to be stronger than Wolverine, why then did she not just go give Cassandra Nova the business
Herself.
And if she could have just cut my man legs off and take his hat, or
Why you didn't do
helmet,
that before then?
Like,
Why
had
was
a lot
this
of-
not done before?
I had a lot of questions, but again, sometimes I throw those away so I could just enjoy what it is that I'm watching. Like I said, Sabretooth was the first thing that took me out the movie. Like, again, somebody gets super kicked in the middle of a match but get right back up, it take me right out.
Yes.
That's not good storytelling.
No, not at all.
Sabretooth, like, even Deadpool and Wolverine fighting constantly back and forth. It was like Peter Griffin and the chicken. That was amazing. Their fight scenes were great. You couldn't give me that with Sabretooth and
Nope.
really? And then Pyro being that nigga. Somebody explain to me
He was
why
at the
Pyro
top.
wasn't one of those guys in the little first of all, we did not even touch on this. The disrespect that they did to Ant-Man. Which wasn't 20th Century Fox.
No, that is a Marvel product.
But the fact that what tells me that they are done with Ant-Man. Because when you make him a skeleton, dead, and he is like the main
He is
living
your
space.
base.
He's the
He
base,
is your base.
of the void. Y'all basically saying, "Oh, we done with Ant-Man."
I mean, Quantumania said they was done with Ant-Man.
That was bad.
'Cause,
Shout out to Michelle Pfeiffer.
like, nothing you could ever say to me lets me know that Ant-Man is beating Kang, the Conqueror.
Well, we don't even know who Kang the Conqueror is right now.
Valid, but
What? So, quick question. I don't mean to make this like that podcast, but why can't Homeboy just get his job back?
because he was found guilty of assault.
But
I know. Mm-hmm. You're right.
there,
Yeah.
look at your roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, look at your roster.
Like, they didn't think that through. They didn't think it through. They didn't think this through.
who you? And I get it, right? I don't, because even with Harrison Ford taking over for what's the character?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he dead. He dead in real life. Get it? And even them alluding to like, hey, you lost your mustache, your new look.
that's what
Haha,
happened?
that's
He died?
hilarious. Yeah, he died.
Oh, rest in peace. I didn't know that.
Oh yes, that's why he's like, oh, you lose the mustache. I get reelected.
Like, I honestly thought that they like replaced him.
You thought they did the Terrence Howard thing,
Yes.
which I thought initially, but I looked into it. He dead. I think he died last year, the year before that. One of them. But
Oh,
he
okay.
died. Which you don't realize how long it's been since.
Nah, he been in this for a
that,
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long it's been between Cap movies, like, and just Marvel movies in general that where the Avengers are the stars.
Yeah.
Because I think, when was the last one where it was like Tony, Scarlet? Wasn't it Black Widow? Was there? Well, Thor.
I mean, Thor.
But they're not in that. Like, when I say they all kind of mingle. Well, Black Widow, they don't either.
Yeah.
So Endgame was really the
Yeah.
last. And that was 2018?
2019.
19? It's been some time. I mean,
Yeah.
old people. Samuel L. Jackson, the only one that got, he got the strength of the black man.
Something. He got the
that
real
man almost
strength of the
80,
Black
and
Panther.
he looked just like he did when he started. But I mean, shout out to all in all, Deadpool and Wolverine delivered for me with the hype that with the amount of hype that it had. It delivered. Thank you for being 2 hours. Like, thank you for not being 3.
Yes, because that can just stop.
Thank you for getting straight to, like, I'm so happy they didn't have to go find Wolverine. Well, they did, but like it wasn't a long drawn out way to get to him.
No,
Because a lot of these movies are Deadpool, and then it'll be half of Deadpool, and then he finally meets Wolverine, and then you get like another hour of them together.
The rest of the movie is just sped up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you for just putting them together. For like, you call the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, and now it's because they together are the stars of this film. And
shout out to Jon Favreau getting a check as happy every
chance he get.
movie he get. Every chance he get to be happy, he come and get that money. And because he's a director in a lot of the films too. But shout out to him, and always good to see him on screen.
Definitely. I forgot he was in the first Daredevil.
Yeah.
Until that what's the name at the end.
So I don't remember how. I forgot Daredevil. I forget Ryan Reynolds played Daredevil before the Daredevil movie. Like, I completely forgot that until I saw
When he played it now?
and one of the X-Men movies. Remember they played it during the credits? And then that's when he was doing the interview. And he was like, I would love to play him in an actual, like in a standalone film. Remember, he was, just, matter of fact, we have phones.
Yeah.
Let me see which one it was.
Because I was like, he played Daredevil. I don't ever remember that. I always thought that was Benny Boy. I thought that clip he talking about, that he was talking about Deadpool. And how he loved to play Deadpool when he did X-Men Origins, which was just such a sad portrayal. So glad he fixed that in Deadpool 2.
I don't even know what to type to look at him. It was X-Men Origins. That's where that clip is from?
Yeah, he played Deadpool, not Daredevil.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know why Daredevil popped in my head.
Well, yeah,
but
because I was talking about.
that's what I was. Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
Yeah, I forgot that Favreau was in Daredevil and has been a part of this whole Marvel thing for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, for real. I mean, shout out to Favreau and Deadpool and Wolverine. I can't say enough about it.
Nah, not at all. It was a great movie. I'm going to see it again.
Couldn't get our buckets.
No, couldn't get.
AMC, shout out to y'all.
Shout out to AMC, the one in Clifton, for not having buckets when we went to go see the movie at 10 a.m.
Yep. It's crazy.
Like, kind of nonsense is that?
I know you got to do part 2 of this later, so
yeah.
Shout out to just thank you for letting me get my opinion off.
Of course.
But go see it if you can't. When it hits Disney Plus, watch it.
Go see it. Just go see it.
It's
you want to go see it in theaters, bro.
I was just so happy to see Blade and Elektra, like, because I do feel like in another life those movies were fire. Well, Blade was great.
Honestly, in this life, like,
yeah.
Well, no, the Elektra movie
Elektra
was bad.
They didn't give it enough.
Anything.
Yeah. If this was remade in today's America with women on top of the world,
she'd be.
please.
She'd be.
She's Captain Marvel Jr.
Hello.
But yeah, shout out to her, and it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. Until later.
Until later.
We out.